Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome wherever you're joining us from here on No Game Schedule. I'm your host, John Massey, joined alongside Caleb Bernard and Matthew Lamsky, and the host of It's My Turn with Anthony Hudson. Good morning, guys, or good afternoon, good evening. I don't even know what time of day it is. It's been a long day for everyone here. How's everyone doing? Ant, you were not with us last week. You graduated college. We gave you a quick round of applause for Anthony Hudson, everybody. That's what I'm talking about. Ant, how you doing?
Camera shy.
Well, we kind of lost Ant there for a second. Caleb, how are you?
Wait, hold on 1 second.
That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Matt?
We had a conversation.
For those of you,
and
first of all, is that a Cleveland Guardians hat?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Why are you wearing a Cleveland Guardians hat?
We had a conversation last episode, if you don't remember, about how you love the Cardinals and the Brewers and all the ops of the Cubs. So where's my mic? Oh, my mic fell. Just like the song stick on the table.
Yeah.
However, I got this from nice Cleveland people from Cleveland, Ohio. So
they don't exist.
I'll wear this.
Well, at least at least my team hasn't changed their name in the last 10 years. Anthony Hudson, I think we maybe got you back. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. Lagging. Not at home right now, but it's cool, man. It is what it is.
Hey, we love the.
I know like a cyborg as of right now, just going like I got an Android 5, but it's cool. As long as y'all can hear me.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Anthony Hudson is joining us off of a DS, a Nintendo DS, so that will be good. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing
Y'all
great.
Y'all can't hear me for real?
No, we can. We're good. No, you're good. You're good. We got you, buddy. We got you. We're going to need you, man. We got some NFL news to talk about. But before we get into that, we'll close off the show with the NFL. Let's start with a quick little segment here about the MLB. We're getting to the point where MLB is going to be a topic of conversation, but I want to talk about the New York Subway Series that we just witnessed a couple of days ago, the New York Mets versus the New York Yankees. And here's the question I have for you guys, and anyone can take this in any order. So I'm sure you guys saw the Yankees fans were, protesting Juan Soto. They turned their backs to him. They booed him. There's been so much stuff over the internet about Juan Soto coming out from Yankees fans. Here's my question to you. Is 1 year with a team enough to cause that reaction? What was your guys' take on that whole situation?
I think it's because it's Yankees fans. Like they're so, I don't want to say they're spoiled, but they're spoiled. Like if you don't immediately start producing for them, they're just going to hate you.
I feel like it's the situation entirely. I mean, listen, if Joe Schmo went from the Yankees to Mets, I don't think they'd bat an eye. It's just that a player of his caliber going to the ops, going to, Darth Vader. So I feel like that's what it is. It's just he's so good that, if you don't like him, you hate him.
There's one more thing I want to quickly ask about here about the MLB. So I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but it was actually rivalry weekend for the MLB. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but the whole thing was like it was supposed to be all the cross-town, cross-state opponents. So the Cubs and Sox played, the Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Angels, like everything. And then there was a couple of oddballs out there left, but there was almost no marketing for it whatsoever. Like it wasn't like a big deal. Is the MLB just boring this time of year? Because there's other sports, there's hockey on, there's basketball on. Do people even care about baseball?
It's a weird thing right now because both conference finals are going on now. They were just decided. That's better terminology. But I mean, I think baseball's had a pretty meteoric rise in terms of clicks, views, viewership in general. I think it's been more popular than it has, at least maybe for the last 10 years.
Yeah,
we see a lot more people watching baseball and talking about baseball. So I think it was just a bad weekend for them to do it, conference finals and everything like that.
And man, you have a little bit of a background in PR and things like that. What did you think? Do you think the MLB could have done a better job publicizing the whole rivalry weekend?
I kind of agree on Matt when he says that. I feel like they did a good job. It just overall, there's just different sports that are going on as of right now, and if you're a diehard baseball fan, I feel like that was a really good pitch. Like, that really attracted you if you actually are a really diehard baseball fan. But just for the newcomers, they're over watching basketball, watching NHL. So once that dies down, it will definitely have more attraction.
Yeah, I think they could have just picked a better time. Like literally like a month from now, I think would have been good, because I think at that point the finals are over with for either team. But speaking of the conference finals, Matt, you bring it up. Let's start with the NHL. Last night, we saw the Maple Leaves, as in they are going to leave Game 7 once again. They don't show up ever. Matt has a big smile on his face. I will toss this segment over to Matt Lamsky, our head NHL contributor here on the show. Matt, what was your take on not only last night's game against the Florida Panthers and the Maple Leafs, but just the kind of deciding factors to see our Final Four?
Canada will never win a Stanley Cup. It'll never happen again. I mean, I'm excited to see the hurt. I mean, both the matchups are going to be really good. Obviously, I think leaving the Jets-Dallas matchup, I think Ottinger for sure got the starting job for Team USA. It's insane. I mean, he saved the puck while he was facing the wrong way, which you never see anymore. Panthers-Hurricanes, I think, is a little more of an interesting series, though, because Dallas is a much more complete team than the Oilers are. So I think the Panthers-Hurricanes one is something to watch out for. That one's definitely going to 7 games. Unfortunately, I still think Panthers take it just because they're the Panthers. I mean, the league runs through them. They're the Stanley Cup winners, and they still look the strongest. On the other side, Dallas-Edmonton, I could see it going either way. It's just going to come down to how well Stuart Skinner plays. I think if Caleb wants to agree with me on that one, but I mean, him coming off 2 shutouts is really nice, good confidence booster. I just don't think it's enough. Edmonton defense is never there, but I mean, Wayne Gretzky, he lost his first Stanley Cup final. Came back next year and he won it. I believe Sidney Crosby, same thing, lost his first Stanley Cup final, came back next year and won it. So maybe there's something in the cards for McDavid. Maybe they do win it. Maybe this is the first time in, 75 years, 50 years, something like that a Canadian team actually wins a cup. But I would be disappointed if we got a rematch of Panthers-Edmonton. I think that I don't want to see that again. We've already seen the result. I would like to see Edmonton Hurricanes, a rematch of 2003. I think that'd be very nice.
Caleb, let me ask you this question first, and then Matt, we can respond to it. And I just don't know. You know, in other sports, it's a pretty big contributing factor of, if you have a ring or not, where that places you amongst all-time greats. Is that true in hockey? Does McDavid need to win a ring? Does he need to have a championship on his belt in order to be considered an all-time great player? Or does hockey not share that sentiment compared to other sports like basketball?
I believe the ring talk definitely goes into play. And when you look at all the greats, let's see, like Messier, Lemieux, they're in different echelons compared to, like, say, even Datsuk. Like, great players. I think the greatest player to never win a ring was Jerome Igigna, right? So from Calgary. So there's definitely a ring. You need a ring to be in that conversation. Ovechkin got it. Patrick Kane got, like, everyone who's everyone. Like, Kopitar got one. So you definitely need to get at least one. I hear you snickering. No one's saying he's, but you have to get one to be in the conversation at least.
Matt, do you agree?
I think yes and no. I mean, I disagree with the Jerome McGinley thing real quick. Henrik Lundqvist. He never got one. I think he's the best. Regardless, going back to the question, yes and no, because if you never make it to the Stanley Cup final, let's say Ovi. Let's say Ovi never made it to a final. It's like, okay, he never had the opportunity to. You know what I mean? He never got the chance to go there. Whether it was based on his team, whether it was based on his performance, whatever the reason, he just never got the opportunity. So if he wouldn't have won it, it's fine. If a player as caliber of McDavid, Ovechkin, Crosby, whoever, if they don't get the opportunity to go play for the cup and then they don't win one, well, what can you say? We never got to know the result. McDavid had the opportunity. He needs one now. Now he needs one. The Stanley Cup trophy is the most coveted trophy in sports outside of the World Cup. And you can argue that one, that's every 4 years. So like, it's not really something that we see every year. So it has its own little sentimental value. It's different. It's unique. The Stanley Cup we see every year. For a player to even etch their names once on that is monumental to the legacy. I don't care who it is. Cam Ward, one of the worst goaltenders that I think I've ever seen in my life. We know him. He played for the Hawks. He was terrible. And he has his name on the cup. I mean, you just need that, especially now after he's lost it.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely crazy that Canadian hockey player Cam Ward is now in the NFL playing for the Tennessee Titans. So good for him. Good for him. Let's go into the actual series here. So it will be the Dallas Stars versus the Edmonton Oilers, and then the Florida Panthers versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's start on the left side of the bracket. This is a rematch from last year. 3 out of the 4 teams here in the Final Four were in the Final Four last year. The only exception is the New York Rangers. And even then, we got really close because the Rangers beat the Hurricanes last season in the Elite 8 or Final 8, whatever you call it in hockey. Matt, once again, we'll go to you. Dallas versus Edmonton here. Who do you take? Is it better to have a lot of momentum after that Game 7 win or that elimination win against the Jets, or is it better to have a couple of rest days if you're the Oilers?
I think in this scenario, it is better for Dallas. They're coming off a really good win. I watched the last overtime. The overtime goal was it was a nice shot. He got screened. He was screened, unfortunately. I think Stuart Skinner, if they would have gone in, game 1, he was coming off two shutouts like 5 days ago. 5 days before that, be a whole different game for Edmonton. He's had some rest time. He said he's got to relax. I don't want to say he's gotten soft, but I don't expect there to be a big performance from him game 1. Do I think I don't want to say, do I think he's going to give up 5 goals? Because you just never know with him. But I think Dallas would be better in this scenario. Real quick, before we go on, Mark Scheifele actually lost his father the day before that game. We were talking about it, John. And he was actually the one in the penalty box when they gave up that goal. It goes to show sports gods, hockey gods, they are ruthless. They are relentless. Mark Scheifele scored a goal, kept them up by 1, then took a penalty, which is, Caleb, I don't know if you watched the game. That's a good penalty to take.
Let me add one more thing. Not only did he take a penalty, he took the only penalty of the entire game. There was one power play the entire game, and it ended up costing the Jets the win.
Yeah, big props to him. I think that's a unfortunate thing that happened, but hockey gods, man, they work in weird ways.
Caleb, what about you? What are you taking out of this series?
Oh, well, okay. I think the 2 biggest question marks in this series is the goaltending of Edmonton. We've seen it go up and down all season. He's in a hot streak now. And Edmonton's defense has always been an issue since forever. So I feel like Dallas is a complete team. I feel like they expose them. I see 5 games. I see like a 5-game, quick handling. I feel like McDavid probably wins them 1. 2, maybe Stewart will steal a game and get them 2, but I don't see it going to 7.
Ant-Man, a couple of weeks ago, you are the one of us who actually selected the Capitals to win the Stanley Cup, and I did think that was a really good pick because they were very hot at the time. Obviously, they are eliminated and on the opposite side of this bracket here, but of your very limited knowledge of hockey, would you take the Stars or would you take the Oilers? Also, basing off the information Matt and Caleb presented.
I'm taking the Oilers, honestly. I feel like, McDavid, is that his name?
Got it?
Yeah, I feel like McDavid has the power to get through. And also, I feel like Dallas organizations have a curse. I feel like they have a curse, honestly. Look at every Dallas organization in every sport. They've all lost in the conference finals or finals.
Matt, what is it you sent us in our group chat earlier today? What was it that called Dallas a small market team?
Yeah, someone called Dallas a small market team. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know who the account was. It just popped up on my feed. I don't follow them. But yeah, it said conference finals, small market team from the South. And then it's talking about Dallas. And it said small market team from the South talking about Florida Panthers, which, for any of you who don't know, any listeners, watchers, even you, John and Ant, I don't know if you guys know, the Panthers are based in Miami. So, known small market city in the United States. Then
Fort Lauderdale, to be more specific.
Yeah, small market team from the South, which is Carolina, the Hurricanes, which I think are based in Raleigh. I think. Which, okay, you want to argue they're small market? Okay, I think they're pretty. I think they're small market.
Raleig's still pretty nice.
I mean, it's nice, but I think it's in regards it's a small market, and then it's the traditional Canadian hockey market in Edmonton.
So I just looked it up. Of the top 10 cities in the United States via population, Texas has 3 out of the top 10. Dallas is 9. Houston is 4. Dallas has, by the last time, where did it go? Dallas has an estimated population from 2024 of 1.3 million people. Okay. San Antonio, and there's a lot of other big places in Texas, so who don't have a hockey team. So there's the Dallas Stars. Isn't there one more? Isn't there another hockey team in Texas?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So this is their sole team in Texas. Small market.
Small market. Yeah.
I don't know what the point of that was. Whoever said that, you're an idiot. We will track you down and we will find you. For me personally, I took the Oilers at the start of this playoffs, and I'm going to continue to stick with them. I mean, like you said, McDavid. If you think McDavid, first of all, and I don't know if you know this, maybe you do, but again, and even for those of you listening, Connor McDavid won the Stanley Cup MVP last year. He was on the team that lost. Okay, he was playing out of his mind last year. He is somehow playing. I'm watching him. He's playing better now than he did last year. And this is pretty much the same quality of team. So he carried them last year and he's doing it this year. The Golden Knights got steamrolled. I don't know if they were just a bad hockey team and they were fraudulent and they got to that position they were in, but they absolutely steamrolled the Vegas Golden Knights. And so I'm going to rely on McJesus to keep the train rolling for the Oilers. And I'm sticking with them. Let's move up to the other side, the Florida Panthers versus the Carolina Hurricanes. The Panthers won last year, so they're looking for a repeat trip to the NHL Stanley Cup. Caleb, we'll go with you first here. What's your thoughts on the series? Who you taking?
Carolina has taken a lot of criticism because this has been like Hercules pushing up the boulder for them. This has been at least their 4th or 5th time. Was it not Hercules that did that?
Wasn't it like Sisyphus?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm typing into Google right now. Who pushes the boulder up the hill?
Well, yeah, it's been at least...
It is Sisyphus. It is Sisyphus. Wikipedia also says the Carolina Hurricanes as well is also a suitable answer, so you're right.
This has been their 5th... It feels like they've been in the playoffs forever, and they just have never broke through the glass ceiling. And they've rotated goaltenders, they've rotated basically everything, coaches, and they get a lot of criticism about the way they play. They play very fundamental hockey, quick line changes. They get called an AHL team in the NHL, and they play, and it works for them. Florida, they seem like a juggernaut. They're absolutely filled to the brim with talent, no matter what you think of Seth Jones. Bob turned on at the right time. And I feel like Florida's going to keep... Yeah, I mean, just all the additions. I mean, I feel like this... It has to be Florida. It just has to be. I don't see maybe the fundamentals, but I just see Florida just handling them.
Matt, over to you.
It's just so weird. Why is this team from Florida so good? What is going on for the southernmost NHL team, the hottest NHL team, just to have the best hockey teams? We've seen this with Tampa. They won the cup 3 years in a row and almost won it 3. They almost three-peated, and now we have Florida. I don't understand what they're doing different. I don't get it, but it's working, right? And maybe I think, Caleb, you might agree with me on this one. I think they're working around the cap a little bit. This is something we saw with Tampa too, where
Every
they
good
put their
team works around the cap, kids. Just how you put it.
I mean, like they put some nice player on long term injured reserve and take them off injured reserve like 2 weeks before the playoffs, so that way it doesn't hurt the cap and they're not over the cap for the whole season technically. But I can't pick against Florida. They're so good. They had a lot of additions. I think that I know it hurt a different level for Toronto fans to see Brad Marchand score against them in a Game 7 when it's not the Bruins. I know that hurt them.
So you guys taking the Panthers, both of you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go along with that too, just because I don't think the Hurricanes have anything. And you're going to make a decision as well?
I'm going along with the Panthers as well.
Ron's pulling for a repeat, man.
I would like to see it. I think it's exciting. I think it's kind of good for hockey as well. I know what you're saying, where having a different matchup every year is ultimately good in hockey because it gets, more people involved, more people get to see their prospective teams make it farther, which builds better fan bases for individual teams, and then it builds better fan bases for the NHL as a whole. But I like the aura, surrounding a rematch, Edmonton versus the Panthers, because then really, it went to Game 7 last series. The Oilers inevitably they were gassed by the third period of that Game 7 last year, and so I would like to see it happen again. I want to know, is Edmonton going to learn their lesson and play better hockey? Is the Panthers? My thing with the Panthers is, yeah, they're making it this far. Caleb, you mentioned all the great talent, but they have some pretty big pieces they brought in at the trade deadline. And I just don't, team chemistry wise and playing with people, I have seen the Panthers make mistakes so far during this playoff stretch because guys are new and it's a new, fresh team because they've had to make trades. They get rid of Knight and give him to us for the Hawks. So they're out a solid goalie, right? And Seth Jones is a good defender. We've never disputed that here on this channel. Brad Marchand, as much as I hate him as a player, I mean, he's a good player. But at the same time, they're only 20 games in with the team. And so mistakes like that, they're okay in the first and second rounds. But now you get to the conference finals and now you get into the Stanley Cup. I don't think it's going to work out for you. So I'm sticking with the Oilers, but we're going to see what happens to the rest of this series. Let's switch national sports leagues and go to the NBA. We also have our Final Four locked in. In the Western Conference, it is the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. And in the Eastern Conference, shocking the world, it is the Indiana Pacers, and the New York Knicks. Ant-Man, I'll go to you first on this one. A couple of weeks ago, Ant, you and I both agreed that the Minnesota Timberwolves were a team you had to worry about come playoff time. And I feel like you and I should be very vindicated that is coming to be true. What's your thoughts on this Western Conference Finals and how these two teams got to where they are?
Oh man, I mean, hopefully you can see that Ant-Man is coming to become a contender. Whoa, calm down, man. He's gonna definitely be a contender. But no, for real, in all seriousness, Ant-Man has definitely arrived, 100%. He is definitely a top 5 player in the league, and he's definitely looking to come get a title. But going against OKC, going against that amazing defense with J. Will, J. Dub, going with Chet, who's been playing amazing basketball. I mean, absolutely amazing basketball, getting buckets for them. And SGA, who's the MVP of the season. I don't see them beating OKC, but every time I doubt Ant-Man, every time, he proves me wrong. So I'm thinking OKC, man, but let's see. Let's just see, man. It's going to be a great series. I say 7. I say it's definitely going to be a series of 7.
I am not the person who came up with this phrase or opinion, but I will say it once again. Last series, the Denver Nuggets versus OKC, right? That was a battle of who's the MVP of this season, right? I think that's what a lot of people consider. You look at very similar. I mean, again, the parallels between, real quick, the parallels between SGA versus Jokic and Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson is uncanny. It is a very similar MVP
It's
race.
black and white, bro. For real. It really is.
Yes, it is, Ed. Yes, it is. Thank you for pointing that out to us. But they meet the two. How am I supposed to recover from that? The two mean that, you know what? We're not talking that. Move on. We're not talking about that point no more. But Jokic versus SGA was the battle of the MVP. But I feel like Anthony Edwards versus SGA is the battle of the face of the league going forward, right? I think whoever wins this earns their title as I'm the next guy. Matt, you disagree?
Bro, the disrespect to Tyrese Halliburton is insane. The man is a workhorse. He is a workhorse. You know what he's doing right now? This is no joke. Actually, I don't know if he's there currently because they're in Greenville. He's selling merch on WWE. This NBA player is selling merch on a sports entertainment. That's insane. They're talking about having a match with him and Jalen Brunson. Listen, Shay's great. But no offense, if I got to put up 53 free throws a night, I think I could sink 50. Like, maybe not. But like, if I get to put up 50, I think I can make 30. I'm sorry, but like, maybe in the playoffs, he's doing great. Can't say he's not, doing good in the playoffs. Playoffs is doing great. But regular season face of the NBA, no way, man. No way. And now you got Cooper Flag coming in. You still have Wembanyama. And then, Chet Holmgren kind of just fizzled out, but he had injury first season. And
yeah, I said this. I think I said this to you, Matt, where it's like, I think everyone was really expecting Chet Holmgren to be like, first of all, he's technically in his sophomore season. So like, there's still a lot of time to be had with him. Right. But like everyone was fully expecting him and Wembanyama to have this like insane rivalry that was going to span. And unfortunately, we just have not gotten to see that yet because Wembanyama, unfortunately, out this season, majority of the season because of blood clots. Chet Holmgren missed his first season. And so it's a little bit rough. I personally think but also, top 5 player, top 3, the best player in the league is playing with Chet Holmgren, so he literally can't shine. I think what's going to be a more interesting matchup is Cooper Flag versus Victor Wembanyama. I think because I think just they're both going to be number 1 picks. It's going to be very entertaining to watch that. Caleb, what's your take on the Ant-Man versus SGA conversation?
It's going to be entertaining to watch, right? I feel like I've seen SGA take a step back and Ant take a step forward during these playoffs. And it might be because of the calls and everything, but I'm interested in seeing the supporting cast around the players, right? I want to see how Rudy Gobert and Chet Holmgren mash up in the paint because these teams, I think these teams have played each other. I think it's like an even split this season or something along those lines. And it's gonna be a battle. I'm really ready to see what the supporting cast do as well. I really like Dort. Caruso. He's from Chicago. Just everyone from. I want to see what happens. I just want to see. I'm also like the fact that it's new franchises, right? Because Minnesota sucked for a long time. OKC has been cursed for a long time. So it's finally nice to see something new and not like the Lakers and Spurs or like something repetitive or Warriors.
Caleb, here's the information you were just requesting. These two teams played each other 4 times this year, but it's actually been some time since they've played. Back on December 31st, Minnesota lost to OKC 113-105. On February 13th, the Timberwolves beat the Thunder 116-101. On February 23rd, the Timberwolves lost to OKC 123-130. And then on February 24th, a game that went into overtime, the Timberwolves won 131-128. So it's been a lot of time since these two teams have played. And looking at that, so last time they played was February 24th. I'm going to give at least the first game of this series to the Timberwolves, mainly because, OKC's coming off game 7, right? And yeah, they dominated the Nuggets, but that is just an extra game that they had to go through warm-ups and their routine. And it takes a toll on the body this late into the season. So Minnesota's coming in on rest, but also they've had a lot more time to gel as a team. Granted, with the addition of, they added Alex Caruso as like, a seventh, sixth man. So that's not a huge addition. But this Timberwolves team added and lost a lot of key pieces. They lost Cat. They bring in Randall. They bring in DiVincenzo. And they've had to rely on them to become big parts of their team. And so now that there's more time for them to have gelled together and they're already 2 for 2 against this OKC team, I'm giving game 1 to the Timberwolves. I don't know if I have a decision on who's going to. I think this might be a 7-game series again. I think OKC might go back-to-back 7-game series.
I hear that. Actually, I hear that.
Let's move on to the Eastern Conference, though. I think everyone here, including myself, truly expected. Matt, don't shake your head at me when I say this. I think everyone really expected the Cavs versus the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. It just made sense. The top 2 teams, you have the title defender going up against a Cavs team that won just a bunch of games this year unexpectedly. But the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks are playing the best basketball anybody is playing at this current moment. I think this is going to be. First of all, if you ask me who I want to win this series, I'm going to tell you I want the Goodyear blimp to crash into the stadium and just both teams get eliminated off the face of the earth. I'm not a Pacers fan and I'm not a Knicks fan. It's just inherent to me. But I think this is going to be a really fun series to watch, and I think it's going to be really good basketball. And I'll let you talk about this series first.
The Indiana Pacers, man, back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals. We got to clap it up for them, bro. No one, and I mean no one, expected them to go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. For them to come back this year and go to these conference finals, it just shows that they really are a good team, that they should not be forsaken or not be underplayed, that they really have a good team. I call it the power of friendship. Literally, the power of friendship is the whole reason why they are winning. There's no key star players on that team. Halliburton's a star, but Miles Turner's a decent player. Nembhard is a decent player. Everyone is they just flourish so well. And when you need a bucket, they got it. Nembhard, whenever you need a bucket, Nembhard is the key guy to go to. He will get you a bucket 100%. But everyone on that team just flourishes so well. And the team chemistry is just locked in. But now they're going against the Knicks. The Knicks are just fire, man.
Matt, you're shaking your head there a little bit. Hang on, Caleb. Go ahead, Matt.
The Pacers are a team, you blink and they're up by 20. They will just outwork you. And we've seen this matchup before. It's not like anything's new. I mean, what's the only thing that's changed is Jalen Brunson got more money.
I mean, the only difference between this year and last year, number one, the Pacers won last year, so you can't even really say this, but so they won with Pascal Siakam, who was only like 25 games in to working with the Pacers, right? They got him off trade. And they still went to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Now, granted, they got blown out by the Celtics, but again, that Celtics team last year, in my opinion, one of the best NBA teams to ever exist.
We did it.
We really did it. This year, though, so now the Pacers, they've had pretty much the same team. I don't know. I don't watch the Pacers. First of all, nobody watches the Pacers. Why? Because they're not on TV. They're not on national television. I live in the state of Indiana and can't find them on TV. I can't even watch the Bulls anymore. I don't have Chicago Sports Radio.net r/Twitch page. I don't know what the Bulls are streaming on, right? I don't know what the Pacers are streaming on. I don't know where to find any game anymore. I'm not buying NBA Plus TV/Max. I'm not doing it. So the Pacers are pretty much the same team as last year, except they've just been able to play with each other more. The Knicks, however, they made a lot of changes, right? Pretty much getting a second all-star on their team, and it's a coin toss on who the best player on the court is. It's either Karl Anthony Towns or it's Jalen Brunson. It is Jalen Brunson. I hate to break it to you. If you're a Karl Anthony Towns fan, I apologize, but Jalen Brunson is the best player on the New York Knicks. He's a very humble guy, so he will never admit that, but it is Jalen Brunson. And so it's a different series in the way these teams are composed. Here's the thing, though. The Pacers, I think, will win this series because that Tom Thibodeau team will just run out of gas in the middle of this series, and they will look exhausted. Because
wait. I don't care if I'm lagging or not. No, we're not doing this. You said that the last 2 rounds, and what has happened? Absolutely nothing.
You know what happened? Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. That's what happened.
Going into Game 7, and literally everyone is still healthy and still playing. I don't like that narrative no more, John.
Don't pretend like the Knicks beat a healthy Celtics. They got lucky that Tatum literally tore his Achilles off his bone.
What game was that, Matt? That was game 4. They were already up. They were already up 3-2 or 3-1. They were already up in the series. Like they literally JT.
I still think
they probably still would have won that series.
And man, I still think my argument holds
They lost
true
the game without him.
Because at
They
this point,
lost the game when the Celtics didn't have Jason Tatum. What do you mean?
What were they up though? They were up like 2-1 or 3-1 with JT.
They were up 3-1.
Yeah,
with
3-1
with Jason Tatum, right?
Yes.
And then they lost a game without Jason Tatum.
So you think they were going to lose 3 more games?
Yes,
Do you think they were gonna lose 3 more
with a
games?
healthy Celtics team. Yes,
because you know what? Listen, I don't know if I can agree with Matt entirely because Kristaps Porzingis was completely injured. I don't know if he was a sickness injury, but Hauser was out for the Celtics, and he's their best role player. I mean, he has like the highest 3-point shooting percentage of the entire NBA, right? And what was the Celtics' biggest problem? Is they just literally could not hit a 3 if their life depended on it. Now, I'm not going to go as far as saying that the Celtics win that series because even when Jason Tatum was still playing, Jason Tatum had a great game when he tore his Achilles. They were still losing. Like they lost the league because that was just how the Celtics were. But again, Ant, going back to the point I am making, not the point Matt's making, I understand what you're saying that I said that earlier and they've won the first 2 rounds. I agree. But that's 2 extra rounds. They went to a game 7. They went to game 6. That is just more games they are putting on their body, and then they're getting to the point. Now, I can't argue with the fact that this Knicks team has been really good in the last 10 minutes of a basketball game. I cannot argue that. I really cannot. They've been fantastic. Jalen Brunson's been fantastic. They are closing out games better than anyone else in the NBA right now. But once again, I have just seen this Tom Thibodeau formula so many times, and it has not worked. And so until the formula changes or until the formula works, I'm not going to believe in it.
I respect that. This might be the year that it works, though. I'm be honest with you. It might be the year, man. Honestly, the Knicks, and I don't want to underplay. You said that Jalen Brunson the best player on the team. I don't want to underestimate Cat at all. Like, I know Jalen Brunson's the best.
I agree with you.
Cat has been playing amazing basketball. Like, he
is playing the best basketball of his career, and I think this just goes along to a conversation we have on the show a lot where it's not about it being a bad player, it's about just fit with the team, right? It's not, you can have a good coaching staff, you can have a good player, but sometimes the type of player doesn't fit the type of coaching staff. So if you have just what is needed. I want to give another shout out to one more player, though, if we're talking about this Tom Thibodeau team. The best addition the New York Knicks have made is not Karl Anthony Towns. It is Mikal Bridges, because Mikal Bridges, his entire personality has been he is an Iron Man, and he will play every single game. He will play 40-plus minutes a night for your team. And so you put that onto a Tom Thibodeau team, a.k.a. a team that just wants you to work as hard as possible. They're really unlocking Mikal Bridges. That was a good addition by them. But this will be a very good series. Caleb, we've kind of taken some of your time here. Go ahead and if you want to talk, go ahead.
Give me the Knicks. Give me the Knicks. Give me the. Listen. They look. It's a whole team. I've seen Pascal Siakam melt in the limelight. I've seen it. And I'm not gonna believe me as a Hoosier. I do not want to see the Pacers succeed. I feel like the best timeline would be the Pacers choke now and New York win or lose. If they lose in the finals, that city gets burnt to the ground, ashes to ashes. And
win or lose, New York is getting destroyed. I'm just only put that out there. There's millions of dollars of property damage on the line at this point.
Yes. It's gonna look like the bad guy from Spider-Man ripped through there. It's gonna be terrible. I promise you. But I think the Knicks are a full team. Their one weakness was they couldn't beat these big teams. They couldn't beat the Celtics. They couldn't beat the Cavaliers. They couldn't beat OKC. Cavs are gone. Celtics are gone. They got beat up on little old Indiana. I think it's light work.
Man, that's crazy. I can't believe the Cavs are gone. I wonder who beat the Cavs.
It's not light work, Caleb, but
in the conference finals, man, no way. I mean, dude, even the Boston Celtics swept the Pacers last year, but let's not act like those were not close games.
Every
Like
game,
they were close. All 4 games were close.
Give me the
Why are you
Bockers,
always
man.
drinking
Give me the
juice on the
Bockers.
show, bro?
Give me the Bockers. Bockers in 4, 5, 6, or 7. I don't care. Give me the Bockers.
How about 8? Can they win in 8?
They can win whatever they want. They ask nicely.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Let's get away from the playoff talk here real quick. A little bit more of a free-form discussion here. I'm just going to ask the question. Anyone can take it. Where is Giannis Antetokounmpo getting traded to this season?
Lakers.
The Heat.
Caleb?
I don't know why that caught me off guard. Charlotte Hornets.
All right. Well,
Let's
Caleb
go, Charlotte Hornets.
Caleb's no longer allowed. For those of you listening on WJB 1230 AM 104.7 FM, go ahead and email me your application. We are now filling spots for the show. Sassy Caribbean man is what we're looking for.
Sassy Caribbean.
If you fit those qualifications, you're getting hired immediately.
1 for 1. 1 for 1. Kyle Kuzma, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
They're on the same team, buddy.
1 for 1.
Never forget Kyle Kuzma. I will no longer be referring to it as the Tony Snell stat line. I will be referring to it as the Kyle Kuzma stat line.
I didn't mean Kyle Kuzma. I meant Ben Simmons.
Same player.
Okay, for real?
Same player.
Phoenix.
Nah, it's Devin Booker's team.
I
play.
couldn't. I don't even know. Phoenix fans would not accept him.
I just had to think of a team. But now that I've thought
It's going
about
to the Lakers or the Warriors.
I think it's the Warriors. I really do. Well, first of all, once again, we said this last week. Ant, you weren't here, so I don't know if you listened to the show or not. I would not put it past the realm of possibility that Cooper Flagg is in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform next year. I would not put it past Nico Harrison that he gives that pick to Milwaukee for Giannis.
Dude, it's going to be like a draft day scenario where it's like, I've seen the chat rooms. They're calling for your head.
Yeah. Except that was like, that's been that way for the last 6 months. So
Yeah.
That's not even chat.
Dude, I was in. Let me share a little story. Let me share a story. I was calling the CCAC, Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Association. I was calling their softball tournament about at the start of this month, right? It's the middle of May. Start of this month, I was calling a softball tournament in Crown Point, Indiana. I saw a kid with a Fire Nico t-shirt. Okay? So like the hate is real. The hate is real even out here. All right. We're 2 time zones away, and people still are not messing with that dude. For me, it's either the Mavericks, which I do not think they're stupid enough to blow that. I really don't. I can see it happening, but I don't think Nico Harrison's that stupid. But I think it's the Warriors. I think the Warriors offer enough of some picks and some players. Honestly, you know what you might see? It sucks, but you might see Jimmy Butler just get traded. I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit. First of all, he didn't do that good in the playoffs, right? Playoff Jimmy did not appear this time. He's only getting older. And so is Giannis, but Giannis is 5 years younger than Jimmy Butler, right?
Does Butler have a no trade clause?
No, there's only 2 players in the league who have a no trade clause, LeBron James and Bradley Beal for some reason. How he finagled that. Bradley Beal's agent. We need to talk. But I can totally see him going to the Warriors. I don't know if there's any other teams. What's like a dark horse team you guys think?
I was gonna say the Heat.
You said the Heat.
Yeah. I feel like the Heat definitely. Mainly because, like I said, they got rid of Jimmy Butler. You never know. Pat Riley might honestly be scheming. Like he honestly might just be saving up some draft picks, saving up some amount of millions of dollars, and he might honestly be scheming. You never know. It's always those teams that traded their best player away or traded a player away that just like is going to get that one guy that they feel like they've been scheming on for a very long time to come into their organization. So I feel like the Heat. And that's a big market, too. That's a big market team.
Let me ask you this. Realistically, is there any chance the Bulls get him?
I don't know what we could offer him. I don't know. Without absolutely blowing up the core.
So here's the thing. Like, it sucks because it has to, at this point, it has to be a trade. I think he has 2 years left on his contract, right? Giannis is not the type of player who is going to sit out and he's not going to play. He's not going to do a Jimmy Butler. Let's be realistic, right? He will play hard. He will drop 30 a night for 2 months if he wants to get traded. The thing is, like, if this was free agency, it'd be so much more entertaining. But it's trading, and so there are just like a quarter to half to 75% of the NBA teams just cannot get the guy. They just can't, right? You have to. I think Kevin Durant tweeted it out. What do you have to trade for Giannis at this point? And Kevin Durant, I think, was accurate. Four out of 5 of your starters. And that's realistically what it takes.
You basically have to give Milwaukee a
new team.
And not only just a new team, you probably have to give them maybe a 8 seeded team in the playoffs. Like,
here's the thing here's what I think. Now that I think about it, I think the Luka Doncic trade. Like Ant-Man, you see this a lot in the NFL, where like one NFL player gets a certain contract or gets traded for a certain player, and so now like a wide receiver. So then every other wide receiver in the league wants to have that similar contract. You see that a lot, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
So here's my opinion. I think you might see a similar situation in the NBA, where if you take the Luka Doncic trade, which first of all, shout out to Rob Pelinka for absolutely finessing his way into that one, right? They got Luka Doncic for relatively cheap. If you look at Anthony Davis is a big guy, but like they sent him Dalton Connect and then they sent him back, and everything. I think what can happen is a lot of teams will look at the Luka Doncic trade. They might a lot of teams would consider Luka a better player than Giannis, which that's a personal opinion. It depends on what you value in basketball. Do you value bigs or do you value guards? So I think a lot of teams will look at, okay, well, the Lakers got Luka Doncic for this much, so we don't have to give that much for Giannis. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I definitely feel that. And it just like, I feel like a lot of teams are going to be like, okay, what are your untouchables? Like, that really reevaluate everything, because we think the Giannis's, LeBron's, the Stephen Curry's are the untouchables, but are they really untouchables now? Like, for real, maybe I could possibly trade them to get Giannis. Maybe I could possibly trade.
Let me throw out one more team, and I think this one is actually the most realistic option, and it's the San Antonio Spurs. If they can just throw a mound of draft picks that's what they need. That's what they want. That's what they need, right? They don't have picks, right? So you send a bunch of, and they all own picks from like a bunch of different teams. So like you have a good odds of getting a couple scattered players, right? So you send them a bunch of picks. You maybe send them a couple players because I think you have to in the NBA, right? And it's like OKC could do it, but at this point, I don't think you would want to mess up the team chemistry in OKC by getting Giannis. I don't think you would do that.
No, that's honestly a really great point that you have there. And honestly, him and Wemby together, oh my goodness.
You couldn't guard that. I mean, you legitimately could not guard that.
You could not guard that at all.
I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe could see a 3-team trade. Don't know what the pieces entail, but there's rumors of, like the Cavs need a leader. Well, LeBron may not be in Lakers anymore. Maybe you could see a 3-team trade that puts Giannis on the Lakers and moves LeBron to the Cavs, and then the Bucks get something from the Lakers and the Cavs. I mean, there's a possibility of it. I don't know.
I got a good one.
What it entails. But
the Bucks send Giannis to the Spurs. The Spurs send Chris Paul to a retirement community. They let him rest out the rest of his career.
He can't retire, man. He's addicted to the finals.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He's trying to fight back. Let's quickly, before this episode ends, let's get Anthony Hudson a little bit of a time to shine here. Some big news out of the NFL. We're getting closer and closer to the regular season. Ant-Man, you missed Ant-Man, real quick. Did you see the Bears schedule?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Me and Kayla had a big argument last week. We missed you last week, buddy. We really did. We had a big argument. I am in the mindset of I'm a realistic Bears fan, and I've seen this team clap so many times. Caleb is one of those hopeful Bears fans. I think at most the Bears win 4 to 5 games, and Caleb is thinking they win like 10 to 11.
I said 9. I said 9 last week.
Okay, he was one number off.
9 is realistic.
Okay. What do you think? How many do you think the Bears win?
9 is realistic, honestly. You just gotta 8 to 9 is realistic, honestly, because you got to think about it. He's getting a whole new coach, a whole new offensive system, brand new offensive line. That's going to take it's not going to take a long time because Caleb Williams is an amazing talent, but that's going to take a decent amount of time to get under the wins. 8, just because they have the talent, I promise you the Bears have enough talent to win 8 games. But any more 9 to 10 playoff hopes, no. But that's cool. Like I said, that's cool because just develop. That's all it is. In 2 to 3 years, who knows? The Bears might actually be Super Bowl contenders. Who knows?
That's funny.
Geez, wow. And there's one more there's one more question I want to ask you. We had this discussion last week. So this upcoming NFL season, in Week 15, the Chicago Bears play the Cleveland Browns. And once again, reach out to us on Instagram. Let's get your predictions. Here's the question, Ant. Who will be the quarterback in Week 15 for the Cleveland Browns?
Wow, this is crazy. If Shador's not the quarterback, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be pissed off because there's Joe Flacco. Dylan Gabriel, who else is on that team? I can't even name the other 2 quarterbacks.
Deshaun Watson.
I was to say, he's still around.
He's injured, bro. If Shador Sanders is not a quarterback on that team,
And Mason Rudolph, right?
Bro. And Mason Rudolph. Oh, terrible. Absolutely terrible.
That is the quarterback.
Absolutely
The quarterback of all time.
The quarterback
that is a quarterback room.
Wow, that is an amazing quarterback room. But no, I still feel like Shador Sanders might not even play this year. I don't feel like he's going to play this year at all, sadly.
Do you think that's going to be his decision or the Browns' decision?
The Browns' decision, 100%. I don't think he's going to play this year, which is cool. Honestly, it's cool. All I need is just this one chance, this one moment when he get in to play good. That's all I need, and he'll be straight.
He's going to shit the bed, bro.
Speaking of Shador Sanders signed a 4-year, $4.6 million contract with the Browns. That is absolutely
how
insane.
In the world did he get a 4-year contract?
That is absolutely insane.
They're investing in him. They must think he's going to do really well.
I think they were. Listen, you could talk about conspiracy. You could talk about. And you mentioned he's a strong, confident black man. You can talk about Dion. You can talk about whatever. I just think that realistically, what it comes down to is I think the Browns are just a cheap organization. They wanted to save money. Let's realistically call it what it is
for a contract, for a rookie contract in the 5th round. That makes sense. I'm just confused on how he got 4 years. That's very confusing. Maybe that'll be like a 2-year contract.
No, they know. They probably know that he's going to be like maybe a good starter. He doesn't have to be a stellar starter. Let's be honest. Quarterbacks in Cleveland have never been great. Kind of like the Bears. Like, they don't have to be a Tom Brady. You don't have to be an Aaron Rodgers. You just have to be good enough. That's it. So maybe they think he will be good enough, but they want to keep him. Hey, we've 4 years, so maybe by the 3rd year, if you don't develop, we could just dish you off, and who cares,
That's a tough element to go into. I mean, you're going against an organization that's been bad their whole entire, literally since the 80s. Literally since the 80s, they don't have wide receiver weapons. Their offensive line is solid. It's not that bad. It's probably like top 15. But that's a tough situation to go into. But like I said, if he get his one chance, man. If he throws for like 200 yards and a touchdown, it's over with. If lights out, Shador Sanders is going to be the starter for the next, at least 3 years. I promise you. That's all he needs, 200 yards and 1 touchdown.
Speaking of quarterback contracts, this came out over the weekend. The San Francisco 49ers finalized a 5-year, $265 million contract extension with Brock Purdy. This, I think, has been one of the most debated topics in the NFL, maybe the last 2 years or so, that what is Brock Purdy's worth? Because he has been on a very minimal rookie. He's been buying clothes at Kohl's and then returning them the next day for his pregame walkout. This has been a guy who he has seen 2 conference championships. He's seen a Super Bowl. He's seen dozens of wins. He's seen some hardships as well and injury problems. And so the question has always been, is Brock Purdy worth the amount of money that a quarterback of his stature should get? Or should you just give Brock Purdy a minimum contract and go get another quarterback? And do you like the contract extension? Do you like Brock Purdy in this position? What's your thoughts?
I love the contract, honestly. I really do. don't let the hype get to you. Don't let the media get to you. Brock Purdy has been playing amazing football. Is he a top 10 quarterback? Is he a top 15 quarterback? That's arguable. That's going to be arguable every single year. But has he put up the numbers? Has he produced and let his wide receivers put up 1,000 yards with a Uke and Debo? Yes, they have. Every single year. NFC conference. The very first or second year went to either the NFC conference championship and then went to the Super Bowl and played actually good. Like, he actually did play a really solid game. They just went against a really great Chiefs team. But I definitely feel like he deserved every single dime of that. Like you said, he's been on a minimum contract. I really feel like that's been really unfair because the media has just put that stigmatism that he just don't deserve it, but he's been putting in the work. Like, he really has. So let him get it. Let him get it 100%. Even if it don't turn out, even if he underplay it, it's just like he definitely deserved to get that bag. 100% in my opinion.
Caleb, what do you think?
One thing that bothers me about this Brock Purdy situation is people say he's a system quarterback. You know, like, oh, he doesn't deserve that money. If he fits in the system, why doesn't he deserve that money? Like, so you want to go out and find another quarterback? What if that quarterback doesn't fit in the system? I'm sorry. I hate that. I hate that whole system argument, QB stuff, because if he fits in the system, like, yeah, maybe you have to overpay him a little bit, but at least you know the system works. You know? That's my opinion.
But Caleb, what do you think?
I think Brock Purdy has been a success in every term of the imagination. I mean, remember, Mr. Irrelevant. Now he's turned to starting quarterback. He's led this team into the playoffs, into the promised land. And remember, he's taken the reins off of what? Jimmy G? And then like a little stint off of Trey Lance. So when you find your quarterback, you have to try to lock him down for sure. He was like top 10 in yards thrown. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't pay him. I mean, especially after what Jordan Love got a bag last season just for what we saw. So I definitely would lock down Brock Purdy. I think this contract is a good contract for him. They need some sort of consistency at this time.
This also came out today. Fred Warner and the 49ers agreed to a contract extension, a $63 million contract extension, making him NFL's top paid LB. He's the highest paid linebacker in the sport right now. And do you agree with it?
How many years?
It is, let me look here. His previous deal was set to expire in the end of the 26 season. Currently, this is according to Bleacher Report as well.
If it's 3 years, then that makes sense.
3 years.
That makes perfect sense.
Is
Okay,
it
3 years. Honestly, pay him more. Give him more.
The 49ers been paying
Give him
people,
more,
dude.
man.
They just paid Kittle a bunch of money. They're just paying Purdy now.
Because these are top athletes.
Yeah.
Fred Warner has been one of the best linebackers in the league other than Roquan Smith for the past 4 or 5 years. Just a freak athlete, as physical, that man is everywhere on the field. I promise you, everywhere. So he definitely deserve it. I feel like he deserved more. Like, give him more. Let him get a 70.
It's a smart move for the 49ers. And I mean, again, people don't understand this. Contracts go up every single year because with the TV contracts and sponsorships and everything, the salary cap keeps going up. So salaries keep going up. So if you can get these good guys early in their career or earlier in their contract, it's a good business decision for both the player and, the team, because, the player could get injured. So he has that secured money, but also if they stays healthy, the team gets to save a little bit. So a good deal all around. I'd like to thank you for watching and joining us here today, whether you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM, or JED TV. I'm your host, John Massey. That's Caleb Bernard, Anthony Hudson. And make sure you go tune in to It's My Turn with Anthony Hudson. He's got some new stuff in the works. And with the NFL season looming closer, he's going to be up and up as always. And that is Matt Lamsky. And as always, Matthew.
Podcast out.